Relapse, or as we often call it, a slip, can be one of the most painful experiences in recovery. It's that moment when, after weeks or even months of progress, you find yourself back in old patterns, maybe using again, and the guilt feels crushing. But here's the truth. A slip does not mean failure. Recovery is not a straight line. It's a process of learning, growing, and adjusting. Today on Addictopedia, we're talking about how to recover from your first slip, professionally, practically, and compassionately. First, let's define what a slip means. A slip is a short return to drug or alcohol use, maybe a single use or a few days of use, before realizing what's happening and stopping again. It's different from a full relapse, which is a complete return to old habits and loss of control. But even a small slip can feel devastating. Let's take John, for example, 6 months sober from opioids. One night, overwhelmed by stress and loneliness, he uses again. The next morning, he's full of shame and thinks, "I've ruined everything." But John hasn't failed. He's human. What matters is what happens next. The first and most important step after a slip is to stop the shame cycle. Shame says, "You're weak, you'll never change." But recovery says, "You made a mistake, now learn from it." Guilt can motivate change. Shame paralyzes it. So instead of saying, "I relapsed, I'm hopeless," say, "I relapsed, and now I need to understand why." If possible, talk to your sponsor, therapist, or support person immediately. You don't have to face that storm alone. Every slip has a root cause. It could be emotional pain, stress, loneliness, overconfidence, or even boredom. Understanding why the slip happened helps prevent it in the future. For Maria, who was recovering from alcohol use, her slip came after she started skipping therapy sessions and isolating from her recovery group. When an argument happened at work, she reached for what once numbed her, a drink. When she sat with her therapist later, she realized it wasn't the alcohol she wanted. It was relief from emotional pain. Recovery thrives on connection. A slip often happens when we drift away from our support system. Call your sponsor, attend a meeting, schedule an appointment with your counselor. Reach out to someone you trust and say, "I need to talk."
I was terrified to tell my sponsor I slipped, but when I did, he said, "Good, now we can deal with it together." That kind of honesty saves lives.
Now it's time to reassess. What in your recovery plan needs strengthening? Maybe you need to attend meetings more consistently. Maybe you need a better sleep routine or new coping strategies for stress. Ask yourself, what was missing before the slip happened? That's the gap you need to fill. If you're in opioid recovery, perhaps your doctor can adjust your medication-assisted treatment, like methadone or buprenorphine. Or if you're in therapy, maybe explore trauma-focused therapy if unresolved pain keeps triggering you. Each slip is an opportunity to learn. Recovery isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Document what happened. What triggered it? How did you feel before and after? What could you do differently next time? Think of your slip not as starting over, but as continuing wiser. You haven't lost your recovery. You've gained new awareness. If you've slipped, don't hide. Don't give up. The only true failure is refusing to get back up. Recovery is made of second chances, grace, and courage. Remember, relapse isn't the opposite of recovery. It's part of it. What matters most is the next step you take. This is Addictopedia, where we replace stigma with science, judgment with understanding, and despair with hope. If this message helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear. A slip doesn't end recovery, it strengthens it. See you in the next episode.